it's so hard for me to imagine a world where cilantro is tasty, but like most people like it, so I just don't really I don't get it. Like it tastes like soap to me. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm sharing 50 random facts about me. I know a lot of YouTubers do something similar to this when they're first starting off their channels, just so that their viewers or their subscribers can get to know them a little bit better. So I figured I'd do the same thing because it sounded pretty fun. So I have a list of 50 different things about me, and I'm just gonna go through and share them. It's snowing outside today, not one of the 50 facts, but very distracting. I'm sitting in front of a window for the light, and it is beautiful. It rarely snows in Texas, so it's always, bless you, Charlie. So it's always really exciting. Okay, so I wrote out my 50 facts, and before I was, when I was preparing for this, I thought, oh, it would be so nice to just handwrite each one and do it kind of the old-fashioned way. False. After about 25, my hand was straight up falling off, but then I had already committed to doing it handwritten, so I had to finish it out. So if you decide to do this, I would recommend typing it. It's a little bit easier. Okay, so here we go. My name is comprised of 4 last names. So my first name, my middle name, my maiden name, and my married last name are all last names. And my mom wanted my first and middle name to be androgynous because she felt like she didn't want me to be discriminated against if I were ever going into an interview or something like that. She wanted the interviewers to not know whether I was a boy or a girl. Sunderland is my middle name, and it was also my mom's middle name, and it was my great-grandmother's maiden name, and it is a city in Maryland, and it is also a city in England. So I really love it. I think it's super cool and unique. I am extremely grossed out by belly buttons. I think they are so disgusting. Just talking about them makes my stomach turn a little bit. And one thing that I am so not looking forward to with having kids is dealing with the belly button when the umbilical cord falls out. No. I am a night owl, and I always have been a night owl, and I can stay up so late and get so much done. I'm super productive in the late night hours, but I've always secretly wanted to be a morning person, or at least more of a morning person, because it takes me a while to wake up and feel alert, whereas at night I feel completely alert and ready to take on basically any project. My favorite color is blue. It always has been blue for as long as I can remember. I think when I was like 5 or 6 it was pink and purple, but my favorite color has long been blue, and I love it. And I especially love navy blue and kind of like a light bluish green. 2 of my favorite shades. I love them. If I could live anywhere in the world, I would want to live on the beach. I'm not even super picky about which beach, but I adore being on the beach so much, and it is a long-time dream of mine to have a beach house or live at the beach full-time or part of the time. It's such a dream. I love being at the beach. I have a really big extended family. So my mom was the youngest of 9 kids, and then her mom got remarried to a man who has 13 kids. So I have 39 first cousins, and some of those are, I guess you would call them step cousins, but I have 19 full-blood, full family relation cousins. And so family events and gatherings are really fun. They have kind of tapered off in recent years because we've all gotten older and we've gotten married and people have their own families now. But when we were younger, it was so much fun to spend holidays together, and I just loved it. Having a big old family was super fun. And my dad's side of the family is a lot smaller. He only has 1 sister and her 2 daughters, and so it's really fun because it's like yin and yang. I can be with my mom's side of the family, and it's like crazy chaos. It's super loud, and there's a lot going on, and I can go retreat to my dad's side of the family, which is much more low-key, much quieter, and more chill because there's just so many less people. I hate scary movies so much. I refuse to watch them. I absolutely hate them. I cannot understand why it's fun to be scared. I just don't get it. But my husband is obsessed with scary movies. It's his favorite genre of movie, and he watches them all the time. So my favorite food changes, but I think right now my favorite food is French fries. I don't care how they come. I like waffle fries. I like sweet potato fries. I like shoestring fries. I like curly fries. I love French fries. For a long time, I used to say my favorite food was potatoes, any kind of potato dish. That's still pretty true, but right now I'm kind of honing in on the French fry part of that. I just have always loved potatoes, and I know that they are not the kind of food that you can eat a whole bunch of all the time, but whenever I have some potatoes, I just love them, and I love French fries. Now I'm craving them. Riley and I got married in the dead of summer on July 31st because I cannot stand the cold, and I would so much rather be hot than cold. When we were on our honeymoon, we went to the Bahamas, and we got a chance to swim with the pigs on this random island. It's something that I've seen on Facebook, I've seen it on BuzzFeed, I've seen it kind of floating around, this whole experience of going to the Bahamas and swimming with these pigs that inhabit this random island, and Riley and I did it. It was so much fun. Those pigs were so stinking cute. There were some giant ones, there were little piglets. It was such a random and fun thing to do on our honeymoon. My favorite ice cream flavors are chocolate and mint chocolate chip. Right now I'm leaning more towards mint chocolate chip, but during other times of the year I like chocolate more. I don't like any ice cream that has anything weird in it, like coconut or nuts or any weird textures. Before I got my dog Charlie in 2013, I only ever had a couple other pets. So I had a hermit crab named Shelly, and I got 2 goldfish named Lily and Daisy. But I never had any furry pets or any kind of pet that was like more of a real companion until I got Charlie. Speaking of Charlie, I am completely obsessed with him. He is the cutest, sweetest, gentlest, just kindest little dog. I just love him so, so much, and I always joke that he and I have been through it all. I love school supplies, pens, paper, anything like that so much. I'm super obsessed with it, and I have been since we were really little, and we would go school supply shopping in the fall before school would start, and I thought it was the most fun thing of all time. I just loved it, and I continue to love it to this day. And I don't really hoard anything else, but I kind of hoard school supply type things because I love them. My favorite childhood book was called Ella Enchanted, and it was kind of like a take on the Cinderella story. I've probably read it 3 to 5 times. I've read it several times, and I'm not someone who rereads books, but I loved that book so much I would reread it a lot. My other favorite book from childhood was The Giver, and I've probably read that 2 or 3 times, and the movie does not do it justice. So if you've only seen the movie, you need to go read the book because it's a fabulous book. Both of Riley's parents have blue or bluish green eyes, and both of my parents have blue or bluish green eyes, and Riley and I both have blue eyes. So I am really looking forward to and crossing my fingers for blue-eyed babies in the future. My hair was blonde when I was a kid, bleach blonde, and as I got older, it got darker and redder, and it's changed colors a whole bunch, but when I was a kid, it was bright blonde. One of my most favorite things in the whole world is taking an evening walk after dinner around sunset with my dog Charlie and my husband Riley, and we go and take a walk around a local school, and it's up on a hill so we can watch the sunset. It is like, it makes my heart so happy. It's so relaxing and refreshing. It's such a nice way to punctuate the end of the day. And so in the summer we take a walk every single night, and in the fall and spring we take a walk probably 3 to 4 times a week, and in the winter, whenever the weather's mild enough, we go and take a walk. And that is something that I miss so much when it's not warm outside, because it is one of my most favorite ways to unwind at the end of the day. Riley and I are yin and yang when it comes to personalities. We are so different, but I think that our differences in personality are what make us work so well as a couple, and we really complement each other really well. And then also we agree on the big things, and we see eye to eye on bigger issues, so it's not as big of a deal that our personalities are so different. But we continue to laugh as we uncover differences between us, because there are so many, and we are truly 2 very different people. If you haven't already guessed, my favorite season is summer. I love it. I always look forward to it all year round. I might have to read off of my notes for this one because the list is long. So when my siblings and I were growing up, our parents required us to each play a sport every season of the year. And so we ended up playing so many different kinds of sports. And so here are the different sports that I have played as a kid under that requirement. I played lacrosse, I played soccer, I played basketball, I played field hockey, I was on swim team, I was on dive team, I played tennis, and I did gymnastics. I played lacrosse the longest and soccer the second longest, and probably my favorites were lacrosse, soccer, and tennis. I played tennis in high school and I loved it. When I was about 8, I was in a recorder choir at church. A recorder choir. It was so obnoxious even to me as someone playing in it. I cannot imagine what it sounded like when we performed on that Sunday. Oh my gosh, ridiculous. Our phone is ringing and we have a home phone, but literally no one knows the number and no one ever calls it. Okay. I had the opportunity to travel all over Europe on the weekends, and it was such a special and awesome season of my life. I studied abroad in the spring, and it was so, so, so beautiful. And that is actually when I really started getting into blogging, because I was blogging my adventures while I was abroad. When I was growing up, I always wanted to be an elementary school teacher. I am super weird when it comes to textures. So clothing textures or textures in food or anything else, I am so picky about them, and I just can't deal with textures that I deem to be weird or strange. I can't do it. I am obsessed with Disney. I love going to Disney. I love Disney movies. I am one of those Disney people. And I have a trip planned with my husband in just a couple more weeks. We're going for about a week in Walt Disney World in Orlando, Florida, and we can't wait. Speaking of Disney, my favorite Disney princess is Belle. My sister-in-law calls me Gam Gam as a joke because I am such a grandmother in my behaviors. I'm allergic to penicillin. Even though I grew up in Maryland where there is a lot of great seafood, I hate all seafood except for crabs. I love crab cakes and I like to pick crabs, but other than that, I don't like any of it. And I think it's a texture thing. Grammar and spelling are very important to me, and when I receive an email or a note from someone and their grammar or spelling is wrong, it is so hard for me to get past that and keep moving forward with reading whatever I'm reading because I just feel that we should all know the difference between there, and there, and your, and two. Like, I think that's an important thing. We've got to learn that. We've got to nail that down. One thing I really love to do is fold a basket of laundry and watch a YouTube video or two while I'm folding it. I love doing that in the evenings before I go to bed. I just find it really relaxing. And I like folding laundry, I think, because it's like there's a lot of order to it and it also smells so good. I have never ever dyed my hair, ever. And so if my hair color is different from one season to the next, it's because the sun has bleached it blonder or redder, or I've been inside more and so it's gotten darker, but I've never dyed it with any chemicals. It's just changed by the seasons in the sun. My favorite TV show of all time is The Office. I love The Office. I've watched every episode probably 40 times. Only a slight exaggeration. I love it so much. It's definitely my comfort show, so if I'm having a hard week or a hard time or I just need to kind of escape, I will watch a couple of episodes of The Office because it's so familiar and comforting to me. I love watching it. So The Office is definitely my most favorite show of all time. I love working with kids and especially middle schoolers. I don't know what it is about the middle school age group, but I just love them. At a sleepaway summer camp in the middle of nowhere in Texas, but when we met, we were both dating other people and we didn't end up dating each other for another few years, but we met working as camp counselors at summer camp. It was such a fun summer and such a cute way to meet each other. I love Kit Kats. They're my favorite candy, and there's pretty much never a time when I do not want to be eating a Kit Kat. My favorite kind of animals are dolphins. I would love to swim with dolphins at some point on like a trip or a vacation if I ever get the opportunity because I think that would be super neat. I've always loved dolphins since I was young and they're just so smart and beautiful and They're in the ocean, and I love the ocean, and all around, they're just my favorite. I'm a terrible singer. I have an awful voice, but singing is the talent that I most wish I had. I am in awe of people who have gorgeous voices and have such talent in that area, and I am slightly envious because that is something that I so wish I had, and I just do not at all. Speaking of music, I played piano and took piano lessons for about 7 years, and then when I was in middle school, I was in my band's percussion section, and so I had some, training and lessons in piano and percussion, and so I know how to read music, but outside of that, I have absolutely no musical ability whatsoever. Meanwhile, my husband is so musically inclined. He can play so many different kinds of instruments. If he hears a song, he can play it by ear nearly right away. He has a really good voice. He can carry a tune. So I always hope and pray that our future children will have his musical abilities and not mine, because I have none. My favorite school subjects were English, Spanish, and art, and my least favorite school subjects were math and science. I don't really like going to concerts because the bright lights and the loud noises and the masses of people kind of make me feel really discombobulated and kind of physically ill. It's not enjoyable to me. So even though a lot of people really enjoy going to concerts, I'm not really one of them. I was obsessed with playing the computer game The Sims when I was growing up, and I actually still have it installed on my computer now, and always once a year or so, I will open it up and load it and play it for a couple of hours because I just still find it a really, really fun game. But I remember playing it for hours, and all of my friends were obsessed with it too, and we would just all spend so much time on our computers playing The Sims. So holler at me if you did that too, because I am certain that there are some people watching this who were fully obsessed with The Sims as well. It was such a huge thing where I grew up. I was a tour guide in college, and I still consider it to be my most favorite job I've ever had. I absolutely loved touring prospective students and their families around my school, which was Elon University in North Carolina. I loved my school. I had such a good experience there, and so it was really fun to help students who were trying to figure out their future and their next steps, kind of think through whether Elon would be a good fit for them or not. And even if it wasn't really the right fit for them, I just loved getting to encourage and speak with and kind of help along families and students when they were in a time of a lot of transition and they were pretty nervous and anxious about the future, and just kind of giving them some, words of encouragement and to help calm their fears about the college years and what was to come. It was just really life-giving to me. I really loved it. So I still have my little tour guide name tag, my little nameplate that I would wear on my tours, and I don't think I'll ever get rid of it because it brings me back to such good memories. I adore sending and receiving snail mail. There's just something about sealing up an envelope and putting postage on it and mailing it out, or receiving something through snail mail. That is so fun to me. So I think that's one of the reasons why I love Amazon Prime so much, is because even though it's something that I ordered and I paid for, it's really fun to get a package in the mail and be able to open it up and have that. So I just love sending and receiving mail. I have pretty severe scoliosis, which is curvature of the spine. It's actually gotten better and better, and the degree of my curve has actually lessened as I've gotten older and grown. As I grew over the past 10 years or so, it got a lot better, but it used to be pretty bad. I have a current x-ray, which I'll insert here if you're interested in seeing what it looks like, but basically it's just really curved to the right, and that's what it is. It's just a little bit painful, but I have found a lot of ways to manage it. My husband is the funniest person I've ever met, I've ever known, and I'm not just saying that because he's my husband. I mean, I'm sure a little bit am just saying that because he's my husband, but truly anyone who meets him, any of my friends who have met him, or everyone agrees that he is absolutely hilarious. His sense of humor is always on point. His commentary is so funny, and he just has the best dry humor. He makes me laugh so hard, and sometimes he'll do something that is really obnoxious, or I'll get frustrated with him, and then he'll do something and I don't even remember why I was upset, because he just has me rolling in laughter. Is one of my most favorite things about being married, is how much I laugh with him. I hate cilantro. I do not like it at all. To me, it tastes like a bar of soap that's been grated over my food. So if I'm eating a taco with cilantro on it, well, that scenario would never happen because I would not be eating a taco with cilantro on it. But like that is what it tastes like to me, just like soap. It's so hard for me to imagine a world where cilantro is tasty, but like most people like it. So I just don't really I don't get it. Like it tastes like soap to me. But I think that people have gone on about these like super tasters, and there's a certain percentage of the population that like tastes like soap, and I am fully in that grouping because man, it's so gross to me. My go-to Starbucks order is an iced upside down caramel macchiato at all times of year. Even when it's freezing cold outside, I really like that drink, even though it's iced. I just think it's really tasty and yummy, and it's something that I only get every couple of weeks because it is not low in anything, but it is high in deliciousness. And that's going to wrap up this video. Thanks so much for watching. I would love if you would comment below with 5 facts about you. I'm actually in the middle of filming my weekly vlog number 4, and I would love to pick and choose a few of my favorite facts that y'all share and share them within my vlog. So go ahead and share maybe 3 or 5 facts about yourself, or if you can relate to anything that I've shared today, I would love to hear about that as well. I really look forward to seeing you next time. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to follow me on social media and subscribe to my channel. All of those links are below, and I'll see y'all later. Bye!